Good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you guys are watching this channel. First, subscribe. I seen this little clip here on the internet. A soldier boy, he went to get some money out the bank, and this what happened. Check it out.
I asked for 100,000. How y'all only got 30,000 in the bank? Where my money at?
Soldier boy, that's called fractional reserve lending. As of March 2020, the banks are no longer required to keep any of your money in reserve. They took your 100K and immediately went and lent it out. While they're getting 10 to 15% on your money, they're only giving you 0.05%, brother. The banking system's corrupt. You're better off taking that money and placing it in an uninterrupted compound interest account, otherwise known as a cash value life insurance policy. That money would be protected from market loss, likely outpace inflation, and grow tax-free for the rest of your life.
Okay, let's go ahead and research this. So I'm gonna go to Google here, and we're gonna go to March 2020. Banks are not required to keep a reserve. So let's see if this is true. It says the Federal Reserve announced they were reducing the reserve requirement ratio to 0% across all deposit tiers as of March 26, 2020. This comes as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact much of the way financial institutes both operate and serve their customers. So let's click this link and see what it says here. All right. It says, what is the reserve requirements? The Federal Reserve Regulation D has been around for years and requires its depository institutes to keep enough cash reserves available to meet the immediate withdrawal requests of their net transaction accounts. The term used to describe these cash reserves is the reserve requirement. Historically, the reserve requirement has been calculated by applying the predetermined tier percentage called the reserve requirement ratio to the institute's net transaction account balance. One way the calculated total can be satisfied is by having enough vault cash on hand. If the vault cash balance is insufficient, the institution is required to hold the additional funds in the interest-bearing account at a reserve bank. Historically, the reserve requirement ratios range from 0 to 10% based on the dollar amount of the net transaction accounts held on deposit at the institution. Why the reserve requirement is important. The Federal Reserve's reserve requirement is essential for the stability of the economy as well as the financial security of individuals, families, business, and financial institutes. Requiring banks to have a reserve requirement serves to protect them and their customers from a bank run. When the Fed adjusts the reserve requirement, it allows banks to charge lower interest rates, which in turn creates more appealing lending opportunities for those who need to borrow money. People who are financially impacted by the pandemic, business owners, homeowners, and college students, etc. What does this change mean? Depository institutes that were required to maintain deposits in a reserve bank account to satisfy reserve requirements will no longer be required to do so and can use the additional liquidity to lend to individuals and businesses. So that was true. So I had to do the research, and guys, if you put your money in the bank and you go and get it and it's not available, what do? So it's best to keep a little bit on hand just in case. All right, thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel and have a great day.